From a young age, Emily had always loved dogs. She grew up with a loyal German Shepherd at her parents' house in the suburbs of Idaho. After graduating from college and moving to Portland to work as an accountant for a private firm, Emily settled into a cozy apartment, living on her own for the first time. Partly out of loneliness, partly from longing for her childhood companion, she decided it was time to adopt a dog of her own. It took nearly a month of visiting shelters before she found him, an 8-month-old shepherd mix with soft, shaggy fur and gentle, soulful eyes. She named him Max. At first, everything went smoothly. Max was smart, well-behaved, and quickly learned basic commands. He followed Emily everywhere, constantly by her side. And soon, a new routine formed. Each night, Max would quietly climb into bed and curl up at her feet. At first, Emily found it sweet, even comforting. But a few weeks in, things began to feel off. Emily, who had always had a perfect internal clock, started having trouble sleeping. She often woke up in the middle of the night, groggy and unrested. In the mornings, she could barely drag herself out of bed. At first, she blamed work stress or the change in lifestyle. But by the 5th or 6th consecutive day of waking up utterly exhausted, she knew something wasn't right. She scheduled a full checkup. The results? Completely normal. Blood work, thyroid, vital organs. Everything was fine. The doctor prescribed a general multivitamin and suggested lifestyle changes. Still confused, Emily began tracking her sleep with a smartwatch, monitoring her heart rate and oxygen levels. The data was clear. She was not entering deep sleep, and her body was not recovering during the night. She began to suspect Max. The decline had started only after he came home, and especially after he began sleeping in her bed. She tried training him to sleep on the floor, offering him a soft, cozy mat. Max complied, at first, but at night she'd often wake to find him back on the bed, curled beside her. Once she woke gasping for air, her heart rate strangely low. Max was lying with his head near her neck. That was the moment fear kicked in. The next day, she called her college friend Ryan, now a licensed veterinarian. At first, Ryan agreed with the previous diagnosis. Maybe it was an allergy or a mild parasite. But after hearing the full story, especially the neurological symptoms and exhaustion, he grew concerned. He asked Emily to bring Max to his clinic in Salem for a more thorough examination. Max appeared perfectly healthy, energetic, happy, responsive. Still, Ryan wasn't convinced. He ran advanced tests, rare and expensive panels to check for bacterial and parasitic infections that don't show up on standard screens. The week that followed was pure hell. Emily was so weak she had to take time off work. She lost weight. Sleep became almost impossible. Then the call came. "Emily," Ryan said, his voice tight. "Max tested positive for a very rare bacterium, Bartonella henselae. It's usually associated with cat scratch disease, but dogs can carry it too. It doesn't make them sick, but in rare cases, it can infect humans." He explained that the bacterium can be transmitted through saliva or prolonged close contact, like sleeping together night after night. In Emily's case, her immune system had been overwhelmed, and the bacteria had affected her nervous system. Ryan immediately prescribed a powerful antibiotic regimen, 3 weeks of high-dose treatment for both Emily and Max. He warned that without it, Emily risked long-term neurological damage. The treatment was rough. The first 3 days were brutal. Headaches, nausea, dizziness, but slowly Emily began to recover. Max took his medicine too, and soon they were both showing signs of improvement. After 3 weeks, a follow-up test showed the infection was gone. Emily felt like herself again, clear-headed, full of energy, able to sleep soundly for the first time in months. That night, for the first time in a long while, Emily saw Max waiting by the edge of the bed, silent, patient. She smiled, knelt down, ruffled his ears, and whispered, "Come on up, Max. But this time, you sleep on the edge, okay?" The room glowed in soft lamplight as Emily lay back, Max curling at the corner of the bed. And for the first time in weeks, they both drifted off, peacefully, side by side, survivors of a strange invisible storm.